Retiring in the next 5 years? Avoid these financial mistakes, says the Wall Street Journal. So let's look up this article here from Cheryl Winokur Monk. All right, and I always like to look up who the authors are because I don't trust nobody, if that makes sense. We look up, here's Cheryl. All right, not a spring chicken there. I mean, she doesn't look old, but doesn't look like she just fell off the turnip truck. So I'm an experienced business journalist who writes for CNBC, Wall Street Journal, and all that stuff. So good for her, man. I always get nervous when when the articles are written about retirement from spring chickens. You know what I'm saying? That always makes you a little bit nervous. Like, do they actually have an experience? So it looks like Cheryl's got some experience. So in the last few years before retirement can make or break what comes next. So she's going to give us six, I think. Six things to avoid. All right, and I got issues with a couple of them, and we'll go into it. So she right here, number one, she says failing to maximize retirement contributions. I cannot disagree with that more. I mean, I'm not saying you should not maximize retirement contributions. I'm not saying that, but I'm just the idea. Look, man, I can't stress this enough. Right when you're retired is when you need cash flow. And because you're probably not going to be on Social Security yet, most likely. You shouldn't be, frankly. And you might be on Obamacare. One of the things we need to have liquidity that's already been taxed. I cannot stress this enough. So yes, it might cost you an extra $1,000 a year, $2,000 a year in taxes to not do deferrals, but the savings from Obamacare is $1,000 a month. Does that make sense? So I cannot stress this enough, man. Like, I just got done doing I got to send the check to the IRS today, another 27,000 schmackaroonies. Like, yeah. But anyway, and so the point being, why did I do that? Because once the kids are out of the house, we're going to go to Obamacare, and it's going to be basically free, unless I continue to make money. But if it's just living off my my investments, it's going to be free. Obamacare premiums, under current tax law. So yeah, it cost me, literally my Roth conversion, it cost me, I don't know, $25,000 or something. I don't know the exact amount, probably around that, to convert the rest of my money into Roth. Now everything's in Roth. That's basically $25,000 bucks. But I'm going to get that back in a year and a half once we're on Obamacare. Again, assuming tax laws stay the same. And I think that's a relatively safe assumption. I could be wrong. What I'm saying, we'll know. But anyway, so I don't like this at all. During their peak earnings years, people should try to maximize the employee contribution, including the catch-up contribution. If you have been making automatic, I don't agree with that. Look, I'm not saying don't do anything. I'm just saying, I'm telling you, man, look at the taxes that you pay today versus the tax-free savings you're going to get on Obamacare. Now, if Obamacare is not an issue for you, it could be a moot point. But anyway, in that regard, I just don't jump into that as if it's that's sacrosanct. Not analyzing Social Security options. I completely agree with this. Bax, is this her Back? No, what's this chick's name? Monk. All right, Back's own Julie Back right there. Back's own mother began taking Social Security at 62, without first running it by her daughter and permanently reduced her benefit. Yeah, exactly right. What I'm saying, you got to analyze it. I cannot agree more. You got to analyze your Social Security. It's without question, and you just don't default to 62 for the love of all that is good in this world. 100% agree with this. Taking on unnecessary debt. I cannot agree more. Beware of taking on debt that's not sustainable, such as a huge house with a large mortgage whose payments require the salary you're accustomed to. I could not agree with that more. Don't run up credit cards or buy big. No, I don't agree with this. Buying big ticket items that depreciate quickly can do a number on your finances. You want to buy the big ticket items while you still got money coming in. That you need a new fridge. Look, dude, everyone gripes about these fridges. This fridge now is 13 years old. Everything in this is 13 years old. We bought I guess a fridge because that's what we bought it. Everything is over 13 years old and still working fine. So everyone's like, oh, they don't make it like they used to. Fridge is 13 years old. And it's an Energy Star. It doesn't. I can't remember how many watts it takes when it's not running the compressor. I also want to say 300 watts or something. I could do the kilowatt and figure it out. I just can't remember off the top of my head. You could buy this little contraption that you just plug into the wall. You plug in your utility thing in there, your load, and it'll tell you exactly how many watts it's using. I almost want to say it's 300 watts. You know what I'm saying? So if you're running 300 watts, that's without the compressor. So 300 watts, and we're going to run that for 24 hours. What's that? What's 300 times 24? Oh, I'm not gonna, whatever that is. Was that 6? No, that's not, like 3 kilowatt hours. No, that seems high. It's 3 kilowatt hours a day or something like that. Yeah, whatever. It's very energy efficient. And then when the compressor kicks on, I think it's 800 watts. You know what I'm saying? It's been a while since I've looked at that. But 300 watts times 24, yeah, it's like, well, now I got to do it. 3 times 24, 300 watts, because that's what it's running at any given time. Yeah, 7.2 kilowatt hours a day. That seems high to me. But either way, I mean, still, that's for a fridge. It's a 13-year-old fridge. That sucker is nothing wrong with it. I mean, the ice maker doesn't drop the ice in the bottom like it would. I wish it would, but not that big of a deal. Our range still works. But anyway, the point being is if you need a big ticket item, buy it now when you got the money. Don't take debt. Just pay the cash for it for sure. Now let's keep going. The range is very expensive in terms of kilowatt hours. Anything that's heating will cost you a lot. This is the whole point with heat pump, electrify everything. Heat pumps and electric vehicles. It's mind-bogglingly stupid. Anything that requires a heating element is going to take up a massive amounts of electricity. That's just a fact, a jack. And if we're reducing our generation and we're increasing our capacity, not our capacity, we're increasing our load, it's so mind-bogglingly stupid. And I love nuclear, but nuclear, there is a limited amount of uranium. Everybody knows this, right? It's not like uranium just falls off trees. It's crazy. Anyway, and it's not going to be solar panels. And I agree with this too. Investing like you're still 25. People nearing retirement sometimes forget they don't have as much time to make up for losing investments. 100%. Cox recalls an investor nearing retirement who bought several rental properties shortly before the 2008 housing crash. After the market crash, he couldn't rent the properties or even sell them. Yeah. And he didn't have the cash to pay him off either. I had a client, I'll never forget this. She was a daughter. She was a cocktail server in Las Vegas. And she's one of my first clients I had at USAA. And her mom was like a real estate mogul wannabe in Miami, South Florida. And she bought all these properties on debt, in like 2006, 2005, 2004. And then her mom died of a heart attack. I hope she didn't kill herself. But anyway, so what happened in like 2008, 9, her mom died of a heart attack, or who knows. And those properties she bought had taken like a 50% pay cut. The mortgages didn't. The mortgages had no pay cut, but the property value did. And so she was so far upside down. And we'll call this lady's name Marcy. I don't remember her name. But whenever Marcy basically had to settle the estate, she was frantic. I said, well, you didn't sign on the deed. You're not on the deed and you're not on the loan, are you? And she goes, no. I said, well, just walk away from them then. It's not reciprocal. You don't owe this unless you sign for it. And she didn't. She goes, yeah, but my mom's, estate is in those. I said, there's no estate. The estate is zero, negative, because she doesn't have the money to pay off those mortgages. And the properties are so upside down. So for Mars, it's just walk away. No big deal. It's not your fault. You're not going to get anything, but just walk away. And you can do that. But I tell you, 100%. But don't do that if, let's say you're Marcy's mom, you're about ready to retire. You're like, I got all these properties. And you're like, leverage to the hill. Ooh. Leverage can be wonderful, and it can trounce you too. Overspending on children. Yeah, that's us, man. In fact, it's great. So tomorrow, Cabin is going to the ortho to get his braces set up to be taken out. So we got one more. So Liam still got braces on. So we've had 5 sets of braces because Matt had to get it twice. 5 sets of braces, and it ain't cheap, dude. You know what I'm saying? So that is one big expenditure that will soon be coming to an end. I cannot wait. I'm like, every month I'm like, ugh. So, but I mean, am I gonna? Then Charlotte's like, well, we can need a new car now that we got 6 drivers. Like, oh no. Anyway, I'll tell you another thing too. I had these people up in New York, upstate New York, like Buffalo area, Rochester, something like that. And they'd loan their son money like it was going out of style. I was like, dude, because not loan, but he was always had his business venture. He's always one step away from the business venture working out. I was like, it is killing your retirement, dude. I know you want to help him out, but he's never paying you back, and you're running out of money. You've got to stop. He'll never pay them back. It's crazy, and I don't know whatever happened to him. I hope they got their money. I bet they didn't. Neglecting to plan for your desired retirement lifestyle. Many people want to travel or garden or spend time with the children, but they don't map out a solid plan for how much these activities are likely to cost. That means once they retire, they won't have saved enough to do what they want. And maybe. Caswell has stayed for retirement for years, but has relatives who stayed for retirement for years, but were hesitant to use their savings for activities because they're worried about it. Yep, I completely agree. She's missing a big one here. I'm shocked. Gotta get your estate plans in order, dude. 100%. When you're retired, you have more time, and that means you also have more ability to hurt yourself. And you're getting older, so you could get incapacitated, you could die. You're getting older, man. You got to get your estate plans in order. And I just mean make sure you have beneficiary designations. Make sure you have a basic will that says, we call them I love you wills. I die, everything goes to Charlotte. Charlotte dies, everything goes to me. At the death of the survivor, it goes 25% to each of our children. That sounds good in theory, but who's going to be the executor or the executrix to manage that? Someone's got to take charge and manage your estate. You see what I'm saying? Who are going to do that? That's what you got to get in the will. Say, my sister is probably going to be the executrix for my mom's estate. And hope my mom has stated that explicitly in the will. Now, I'm not going to, for us, we just Abby can do whatever the hell she wants. We don't care. You know what I'm saying? But, if you haven't named that explicitly, there could be some issues. What if you're incapacitated? What if you don't wake up one day, you don't know who you are? You know what I'm saying? What if you have to go to a nursing home? What is there going to be power of attorney? And for the love of the good Lord, think twice, please, before you add your daughter to your deed on your house. Please don't just say, well, Mimi, I want you to not have to avoid probate, so I'm going to put you on the house. Oh, for the love of the good Lord. I'm not telling you don't do that. I'm just saying think twice about that. That is a gift. Which means now Mimi, your daughter, owns half the property, which means it will not be transferred via capital gains, step up in basis. Half the property will go to Mimi tax-free. The other half is Mimi's. And your cost basis carries forward because that's what happens when you make a gift. That you got to file a gift tax return. You're not going to have to pay any gift tax, but it's still a form you got to file. It's not a big deal. Anyway, so there's 6 plus another one. 7 things to consider before you retire if you're going to retire in the next 5 years. Love your thoughts. Tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern, we're going live with Andrew Biggs from the American Enterprise Institute to talk about the stupid Republican strategy group. It's Republican, I forgot what it's called. Study group, the study commission to talk about their stupid plan to fix Social Security. So join us, if you will, be live and in person, and we can take questions. See you.